a month. He was a long time non-filer because he had been kind of banged around a little bit by the bureaucracies and one thing another, and he became a non-filer. They were after him for 5 years. This is past the year 2000. They're after him for 1981, 82, 83, 84, 85, 5 years. They said it was fraud. They made an adjudication and said that it was fraud, that he had committed fraud, and therefore the statute of limitations did not apply. And he was afraid that he was going to be indicted. And he wondered what I could do to help him, and I wrote a letter for him. And he sent that letter in. He calls me every once in a while, gives me an update. The last time he called, he said, you know, he says, I get these letters from the IRS once in a while, these computer printouts. And they come from all these different service centers around the country. And they say, we need another 45 days to analyze your case. And he told me, he laughed and he said, the last one I got was 92 days ago. He was counting the days. 45 days had long since gone by. I'm going to read this letter, and I want you to pay particular attention to what I'm saying here, because the key is here as to how we're going to regain control of our courts in this country. This is what I said. Greetings. Find enclosed copies of recent correspondence sent to me by employees of the Internal Revenue Service. These documents indicate that a controversy has been created with a value in excess of $20. This letter is a lawful notice that I, John Jane Doe, and lots of people are using this, this is why the John Jane Doe is here, that I, John Jane Doe, will not tolerate the psychoterrorism your agency has used to destroy so many productive Americans. If the IRS have a valid claim against me, they must file an action in federal court under Rule 38 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. IRS administrative procedures were designed to circumvent the 7th article of the Bill of Rights. I will record the 7th Amendment here. The 7th Amendment, for over 200 years, the legal profession has tried their best to drop it through the cracks. They don't teach it in law school. Lawyers, I have confronted with them. I confronted many of them. They don't know what the 7th Amendment says. There's very few patriots out there that really understand it. They might remember the first part of it, but they don't remember the really important part of it. I'm going to read the 7th Amendment here. In suits at common law, where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any, that three-letter word, the key, shall not be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States than according to the rules of the common law. Now that I'm going on, that's the 7th Amendment. The legal profession has tried to drop the 7th article of the Bill of Rights through the cracks of time. Federal judges and Justice Department attorneys have conspired with the IRS to terrorize the productive people of this nation. Federal judges are political appointees who are beneficiaries of the tax laws. Federal judges are denied impartiality in any controversy between a citizen and government. Federal judges are government agents. Federal judges are government agents, and they are criminal if they have presided over any tax prosecutions and sentenced a victim to prison. All judges and U.S. attorneys have an undeniable conflict of interest in all tax controversies. The founders of our Constitution and Bill of Rights created the 7th article of the Bill of Rights as the mechanism to resolve any controversy between we the people and our government. The 7th Amendment common law jury is the highest court in the land because even the 9 justices of the U.S. Supreme Court are government agents. Did you hear what I said? That sentence is so powerful. I'm going to read it again. Remember, up there in the 7th article of the Bill of Rights, it says that that jury decision cannot be re-examined by any. That's an inclusive term. That word, that 3-letter word is inclusive. Any court of the United States. That includes the U.S. Supreme Court. I'm going to read that sentence again. The 7th Amendment, common law jury, is the highest court in the land because even the 9 justices of the U.S. Supreme Court are government agents. Have any of you ever heard that one before? I think you're all in a state of shock. Can you imagine what happened that our minds were so manipulated that we never recognized that the Supreme Court, that those judges get their paycheck from the government, and it's tax money. Your money and mine. They've got a conflict of interest. And that conflict of interest denies them impartiality. They cannot make a finding of fact or a conclusion of law. The first constitutional case, as I understand it, to come before the U.S. Supreme Court in the 1790s was Georgia versus Brailsford. The U.S. Supreme Court, the judges, they argued that case before a jury. And it was a jury that made that decision. Are you all saying, I didn't know? I didn't know? I went through almost 50 years of my life, and I didn't know. I didn't know.